Ladies and gentlemen, there is a secret known to every man and woman who has ever built a fortune, commanded respect, or etched their name into the eternal book of greatness. That secret is simple, yet so often ignored. It is this: do what is hard, not what is easy, not what is comfortable, not what is familiar, but what is hard, because in the furnace of difficulty, character is forged, strength is born, and destiny is shaped. Look around you. The masses are seeking shortcuts. They want the prize without the price. They chase success, but flee the struggle. And that is why they remain average. But you, my friend, you were not born for ease. You were born for purpose. And the path of purpose is paved with challenge. The nature of greatness: no man who ever achieved greatness chose the easy road. Andrew Carnegie, whom I studied for 25 years, came to this country poor, uneducated, and unknown. He worked in the hardest conditions for the smallest pay. But he did not curse hardship, he embraced it. He learned from it. And he used it as a stepping stone to build a fortune so vast that it transformed entire industries. Why? Because he understood that the harder the climb, the greater the view. Every difficulty you face, every fear you conquer, every discipline you force upon yourself, these are not obstacles. These are initiations. These are gifts. They are the universe's way of asking, do you truly desire success, or only the illusion of it? What is hard builds you. Let me speak plainly. It is hard to wake up early and discipline your mind. It is hard to study when you could be entertained. It is hard to control your habits, master your time, delay gratification. It is hard to keep going when the world doubts you. It is hard to persist when there is no applause, no reward, no certainty, but I tell you, do it anyway. Because every time you do what is hard, you prove to yourself that you are no longer a slave to circumstance. You are becoming the master of your fate. And that, my friend, is the foundation of all achievement. The enemy of progress, comfort, the greatest enemy of your future is not failure. It is comfort. Comfort seduces you. It whispers lies. It tells you you've done enough. Take it easy. You can start tomorrow. And while you sleep, the man who chooses what is hard is building what you will one day envy. Success does not come to those who want it. It comes to those who earn it by sacrificing what is easy in favor of what is hard but necessary. Every hour spent in hardship is an investment in your greatness. The decision, so I ask you now, will you continue to follow the crowd, doing what is easy, or will you stand alone and do what is hard? Will you let weakness run your life, or will you rise each day and say, I will not choose ease? I will choose growth. I will do what is hard, because I am becoming someone who is hard to defeat. This is the path of the few, the bold, the courageous, the future leaders of industry, invention, and impact. In closing, doing what is hard is not a punishment. It is a privilege. It is the universe's way of separating the common from the uncommon, the average from the extraordinary. So from this day forward, let this be your creed. I will do what is hard, not because I enjoy pain, but because I value growth. I will do what is hard not because it is glamorous, but because it is required. I will do what is hard because I am building the future, and the future belongs to the strong. Go forth now. Do what is hard, and you will find that nothing is impossible. Thank you and good luck on the battlefield of greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, I must now speak to you about a truth so profound, so powerful, that it can forever change your relationship with pain, struggle, and adversity. This truth is simple. Every difficulty you encounter is not a punishment, it is a gift. A golden opportunity sent by life to shape you into something greater than you were yesterday. The masses look upon hardship with dread. They avoid it. They resent it. They curse the heavens when things become difficult. But those who achieve greatness, those rare individuals who rise from the ranks of the forgotten into the annals of fortune and legacy, they recognize hardship for what it truly is, a divine sculptor. The law of growth, let me tell you what I have learned after interviewing hundreds of successful men over the course of my life, men who built empires from nothing, who overcame unimaginable odds, who rewrote their destiny through sweat, discipline, and purpose. They did not seek the path of ease. They sought the path of resistance. They understood that in the natural order of things, growth rings, you do not build strong muscles by resting. You build them by lifting weight that strains your body to the point of failure. You do not develop a powerful mind by indulging in comfort. You develop it by stretching your thinking, by facing the problems others avoid, by doing the work when no one else is watching. This is what hardship does. It conditions you like fire tempers steel. It removes your weakness, burns off your excuses, and forges in you the character necessary to endure wealth, leadership, and internship. No man ever became great by living soft. No woman ever became powerful by avoiding pressure. The hard path is the highway of all legends. The common man vies. The great one now, allow me to paint a picture. The common man wakes each morning and prays for ease. He asks, let the day be smooth. Let me not be disturbed. Let things go as I expect. But the great man rises and demands challenge. He says, give me the mountain to climb. Give me the obstacle to overcome. Let me become more than I was by day's end. The first man is governed by fear. The second is governed by vision. The first shrinks at the sight of adversity. The second expands through it. Which are you? Because you must decide. For if you do not embrace difficulty as a gift, you will resent the very thing that was sent to make you powerful. You will reject the hammer that was sent to forge you into a master of your craft, a leader of men, a builder of fortunes, the hidden gift within hardship. Every difficulty, if examined rightly, contains within it the seed of equal or greater advantage. That is not a hopeful phrase, it is a law. If you are enduring pain right now, know this, it is trying to give you something, a lesson, a breakthrough skill, a mindset, a piece of armor for your future. But you must stay long enough in the heat to receive the lesson. You must resist the temptation to run back to what is safe. You must say, I was not made for ease. I was made for expansion. The moment you stop seeing hardship as an enemy and start seeing it as an instructor, everything changes. What once felt unbearable becomes essential. What once made you weak now becomes your strength. Final thought, so I urge you, embrace the difficulty. Wake up tomorrow and say, let the hard thing come. Let it shape me. Let it make me strong. Because when you begin to value the challenge, you begin to value yourself. And when you value yourself, the world begins to respond in kind, offering you opportunities, abundance, and power that only the strong can handle. Do what is hard. Embrace what is hard, and soon you will become someone unbreakable. Ladies and gentlemen, success does not go to the smartest men in the room. It does not go to the most talented. It does not even go to the fastest. Success bows only to one quality, a quality forged in silence, in struggle, in solitude. That quality is mental toughness. The mind is man's most powerful possession. Within it lies the capacity to dream, to imagine, to plan, and execute. But without strength, without discipline, that mind becomes your greatest enemy instead of your greatest ally. Now allow me to speak a truth into your life, one that the mediocre man refuses to accept. Mental toughness is not inherited. It is earned. Earned through repeated resistance to comfort, to fear, to distraction, and to weakness. You do not wake up mentally tough. You become mentally tough by doing what is hard over and over and over again. Repetition is the mother of strength. You must understand that the mind is like a muscle. And just like a muscle, it must be trained under resistance if it is to grow strong. No man develops a powerful body by lifting feathers. He must lift iron again and again until the very thing that once seemed impossible becomes routine. So it is with the mind. You must lift resistance into your thoughts daily. You must place yourself deliberately into situations where you feel friction, where your lower self screams for escape, and your higher self demands you stay and fight. Wake up early when the body craves rest. Say no to impulse when the mind craves indulgence. Take action when every fiber of your being says, wait a little longer. These are the invisible decisions that build unbreakable will. Resistance reveals who you are. The true measure of a man is not found in his comfort. It is revealed in the furnace of pressure. When things go wrong, do you crumble? When fear knocks, do you run or rise? When hardship comes, do you shrink or shine? Let me be blunt. If you cannot train your mind to do what is hard when no one is watching, you will never lead, never rise, and never possess the self-respect that success demands. You may fool the world, but you cannot fool yourself. And until you can stare in the mirror and say, I did not give in, you have not yet earned the title of mentally tough. Habits of the mentally tough individuals are not born with iron in their veins. They are forged through daily habits, small, consistent acts of discipline done especially when they don't feel like it. They commit to rising early, no matter the hour they slept. Read and study even when their mind says you already know enough. Exercise discipline over food, time, speech, and thought. Do the work even when no one will notice. Say no to ease and yes to excellence. And through this repetition, their minds become sharp, resilient, powerful. They become men and women of decisive action, and the world opens to them. You can build it too. Perhaps today you are undisciplined. Perhaps you've let yourself off the hook one too many times. Perhaps you've made a habit of comfort. If so, do not despair, for greatness does not lie in never falling. It lies in rising each time a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more determined. Your first victory is small, waking up without the snooze. Your next, showing up when you want to quit, and then another and another. Until one day people will ask, how did you become so focused, so fearless, so strong? And you will answer, I trained my mind. I made difficulty my companion. I did what was hard. Final thought, mental toughness is your birthright, but only if you claim it. Only if you stretch yourself through repeated resistance. Only if you deny the whispers of weakness and obey the commands of greatness within you. So I urge you, do what is hard again and again, and you will find that the mind becomes your greatest weapon, not your deepest weakness. The world bends not to the weak, but to the unshakable. Build your mind accordingly. One of the greatest powers ever bestowed upon man is the ability to choose long-term victory over short-term pleasure. And yet this very power is ignored, neglected, and even mocked by the masses who prefer comfort over conquest and ease over excellence. But make no mistake, my friend, the man who learns to delay gratification holds the key to every treasure life can offer. The hidden power of saying no, the journey to success, is not paved with magic nor luck. It is built with bricks of self-control, the discipline to say no when every part of your body screams yes. No to the snooze button. No to the dessert when your health is at stake. No to distractions when your goals are calling. No to spending money that should be invested. No to laziness when action is required. Now understand this, there is pain in denial, yes, but it is temporary pain that fertilizes the soil of long-term greatness. In contrast, the man who constantly chooses comfort over control suffers a far more devastating pain, the pain of regret. That is the most bitter pill of all, and it comes not today, but 10 years from now, when the fruits of discipline should be ripening, but only the weeds of procrastination have grown. The science of success, the marshmallow principle, let me remind you of a now famous psychological study. Researchers offered young children a simple deal. They could eat one marshmallow now, or wait 15 minutes and receive 2 marshmallows. Some children ate it immediately. Others, though tempted, endured the wait. Years later, the researchers followed up with those children. What did they find? The children who delayed gratification were more successful in academics, more financially stable, healthier in body and mind, far more disciplined in all areas of life. Now, if such a simple decision to wait a few minutes can predict decades of future performance, what does that say to you? It says this: success is not about talent. It's about timing the ability to trade now for later. The successful man sees his goals so vividly that he is willing to sacrifice comfort today for greatness tomorrow. That is the mindset of a millionaire, of a leader, of a legend. The enemy, instant gratification. In our modern age, everything screams now. Fast food, fast money, fast fame. We have been conditioned to despise waiting, and this is the silent destroyer of dreams. Why? Because every meaningful goal in life requires time and persistence. Muscles take months to build. Businesses take years to grow. Relationships take decades to deepen. Mastery takes a lifetime. And yet the man enslaved to instant gratification quits before he sees fruit. He sows, but never waits long enough to reap. He starts the race with energy, but finishes with excuses. So how do you break this pattern? You train your mind like a warrior sharpens his sword. Each time you resist the easy path, each time you delay the treat, the scroll, the shortcut, you gain a piece of power. Not just over the moment, but over your entire destiny. Practical power, how to build self-control daily. Make waiting your habit. Before any indulgence, pause. Wait 10 minutes. Train your emotional muscle. Reward discipline. Celebrate each victory of restraint with a sense of pride, not with a treat. Visualize your future self. When tempted, close your eyes and imagine the man or woman you are becoming. Ask, will this choice honor that vision? Every time you win a small battle of self-control, you are stacking bricks. And one day you will look back and realize you have built an empire of discipline. Final thought, my dear reader, the pleasure of now is fleeting. The pleasure of having conquered yourself is eternal. So I say, do what is hard. Say no when others say yes. Wait when others rush. Persist when others quit. For in that quiet strength lies a hidden reward. The man who delays gratification is the man the world cannot defeat. My friends, allow me to reveal to you a truth that the average man spends his life trying to avoid. It is this: all growth begins where your comfort zone ends. Yes, that's right, the very thing you've been taught to fear, to run from, to shield yourself against discomfort is the furnace in which greatness is forged. The comfort zone, a silent killer there, is a quiet trap that catches more men than failure ever will. It lulls them to sleep, whispers lies into their minds, and convinces them that safe equals successful. This trap is the comfort zone. It is the land of the familiar. It is the place where the couch feels better than the gym, where scrolling feels easier than studying, where excuses feel lighter than effort. And do you know what happens there? Nothing. No progress, no power, no prosperity. A man may spend his entire life in comfort only to wake up one day and realize he has wasted it. His dreams died not because he tried and failed, but because he never dared to try at all. Discomfort is the price of greatness. Understand this universal law. Every level of achievement has a price. You want confidence? Pay with vulnerability. You want wisdom? Pay with humility. You want strength? Pay with sweat, pain, and persistence. You want success? Pay with risk, sacrifice, and bold decisions. Discomfort is not a punishment. It is the tuition fee for transformation. And those who learn to embrace it, to welcome it, are the ones who rise while others remain grounded in mediocrity. You do not build courage by staying safe. You build courage by stepping into the fire again and again until the fire no longer teens you. Train yourself to seek it. You must rewire your relationship with discomfort. Most people run from it. The successful run to it. How do you train yourself? By choosing discomfort on purpose every single day. Take the cold shower when the warm one is waiting. Speak on stage when your voice trembles with fear. Make the phone call when rejection feels unbearable. Wake up early when the bed tempts you to sleep longer. Sit in silence when distraction calls your name. Each of these moments may seem small, but they are not. Each one is a battlefield. And each time you choose discomfort, you forge another link in the chain of personal mastery. The goal is not to become addicted to pain. No, it is to become indifferent to it. To see it not as a threat, but as a signal. This is the path. Walk it boldly. Historical proof: discomfort breeds destiny. Study the lives of the greats, every one of them. You will find a pattern. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before perfecting the light bulb. Do you think that was comfortable? Abraham Lincoln lost election after election before rising to become one of history's greatest leaders. Helen Keller, deaf and blind, fought through unimaginable obstacles to gain knowledge and change the world. Comfort didn't shape them. Discomfort did. And so I ask you, what could you become if you leaned into discomfort instead of avoiding it? What skills would you master? What fears would you defeat? What impact would you create? You are capable of far more than you know. But you'll never discover it while hiding from hardship. Final word, my friend: the path to the life you dream of is steep, narrow, and littered with resistance. But make no mistake, the harder road is the higher road, and it leads to the summit. So I urge you, do what is hard. Seek discomfort. Invite it in. Train in it. Grow through it. Let it be your teacher, not your tormentor. For the man who is willing to be uncomfortable is the man who can do anything. If I were to boil the entire philosophy of success down to a single force, it would not be talent, nor would it be intelligence, luck, or timing. No, it would be one word: persistence. Success belongs to the man who refuses to quit. The world has never had a shortage of short ideas. Every graveyard on earth is full of them. Dreams buried too soon. Goals never reached. Visions abandoned at the first sign of struggle. Why? Because most people give up too early. They meet resistance and turn around. They fail once and declare themselves defeated. But the rare few press forward. They endure the storm, outlast the doubt, and keep walking when everyone else has stopped. Those are the ones who rise. Those are the ones whose names are remembered. Quitting is a language, is a list. It is the path most traveled. And that is precisely why it leads nowhere. When you quit, you are telling the universe, I was not serious. You are telling your dream, you weren't worth the trouble. And worst of all, you are telling yourself, I am not the kind of person who finishes what I start. And what happens when that belief is planted? It grows. Soon you quit on the next thing, and the next, until giving up becomes a habit that costs you everything. But here's the good news, persistence can also be a habit. You can train yourself to become relentless. You can program your mind to see things through to the end, no matter how hard, no matter how long, no matter how heavy the burden. And once you develop that habit, the world bends to your will. The power of one more step. When you feel like quitting, understand this, your breakthrough might be one step away. History is filled with men who stopped digging just 3 feet from gold. Men who gave up a moment before their miracle. Men who were tested and failed not because they were weak, but because they misunderstood the test. You see, life will always ask you one question before it hands you greatness. How bad do you want it? And it will ask this question not with words, but with delays, detours, and disappointments. Those who pass the test are those who say, I will persist until I succeed. I recall the great Thomas Edison, who, after thousands of failed experiments, was asked why he didn't quit. He replied, I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That, my friends, is the mind of a champion. How to cultivate iron-willed persistence, burn the bridges. Leave yourself no retreat. Make quitting more painful than continuing. Write your goal daily. Read it every morning and every night. Let it burn into your soul. Expect obstacles. Don't be surprised by hardship. Prepare for it. Welcome it as part of the journey. Track your progress. See how far you've come, and remember, you've already endured too much to give up now. Repeat this mantra daily. I will not stop until the work is done. I was not made to quit. Each time you persist, you strengthen your character. You toughen your spirit, and you announce to the world, I am unbreakable. Final thought, let me leave you with this. The path of success is not for the man who moves swiftly, but for the man who refuses to stop moving. So I say unto you, do what is hard. Finish what you start. Crawl if you must, but never surrender. Let others quit. Let others complain. You press on. Because at the end of this road, past the struggle, beyond the doubt, lies a reward so great it will make every hardship worth it. Stay the course. Persist. And fortune will bow to your will. My friends, we have journeyed together through the mountains and valleys of mental discipline, perseverance, and inner strength. You have been shown that the greatest treasures of life's success, fulfillment, purpose are not handed out at the gates of ease, but earned in the furnace of difficulty. Now you know the truth that so few dare to speak. Do what is hard, and your life will be easy. Do what is easy, and your life will be hard. The average man avoids challenge and lives a life of quiet desperation. The extraordinary man, however, welcomes hardship. He embraces it. He uses it to sharpen his edge, build his faith, and strengthen his mind. You must become that man. Remember this, your destiny is not written in your past, it is written in your decisions. And the most powerful decision you will ever make is this. I will no longer run from struggle. I will use it. I will face what others fear. I will endure what others escape. And I will rise because I choose to do what is hard. You were not born to shrink. You were not born to quit. You were not born to blend in. You were born to rise, to stand tall amid the storm, and to look life in the eye and say, do your worst, I will do my best. So go now. Take action. Face the hill. Fight the fight. Build the life you dream of, not by waiting, not by wishing, but by doing the hard thing every day until it becomes who you are. Good luck and thank you. Now go out there and conquer.